early, but I needed to get up and get stuff done. So I'm trying something new. Can everyone hear me okay? That is my main goal, that everyone can hear me. Let me know in the chat. Yes, an art stream. Mwahaha. At like the crack of freaking dawn. Or maybe you're a normal person, like it's normal hours for you. Not so much for me. Now, I had these panels for years now, and I just never did anything with them. So I decided I'm gonna do something with them. And of course, right when I start to stream, I have absolutely no energy. I had energy like a minute ago, and now I don't. Just the lot I was given in life. But hello, I'm just gonna get in the zone and paint today. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Like I was saying, I had these panels for years, like just round panels that I got on like the Amazons. And yeah, me and Peaches were hanging out watching the TVs. And I was like, instead of coming out here and sketching and doing work, I was like, I'm going to sit on the couch and hang out with him and watch. We were watching a documentary on national parks. So we watched one on the Grand Canyon, then one on Glacier. So it was a very random time, but I was like, I'm going to hang out with Peaches and sketch 2 different concepts out. I've seen this stuff going on Instagram of like, it's this new thing where it's like you do like a close-up, or you do a portrait, but like half of the face is like distorted with some kind of like butterfly or moon or something. And at first I was like, can people just not draw faces? And then I'm like, I don't know, I guess it's pretty. I was like, I'll try it. So I sketched out this one first, and then I really like fairies and stuff, so I started sketching the other one. You can't tell that she's a fairy because you can't see her wings, but I was like, I'll try something, and I was like, I'll cover it up with like a butterfly. But yeah, I obviously know how to draw symmetrical faces. I just was trying something different. Now, for those wondering, I am dual streaming this, so this is live up on my YouTube channel as well as on my Twitch. So hello to everyone over on Twitch, and also hello to everyone over on the YouTubes. I typically don't like streaming on this YouTube channel because it doesn't pay me, and I got flagged. So I'm not the biggest fan of this channel, but Twitch is good. Twitch is good to me. I like it. Oh. I couldn't sleep at all last night. The little alien was whatchamacallit, moving around like crazy. Now I wanted, for like the color scheme, I just wanted to like get experimental and just like go in straight with color. So I didn't really mix. I mixed some color, but not too much. Hi, Dixie. My dogs are like just in and roaming around. They're like, what are you doing? Why aren't you paying attention to us? Also, if I randomly jump up and leave, it's because I'm at war with my neighbors over a parking situation. And today is a street sweeping day. And so we all rush to fight for the parking spot because my neighbors are irresponsible and have like 12 fucking vehicles, and they never park them in their own driveway. They park them in front of everyone else's house, and it's the biggest nuisance in the neighborhood, and they just don't care. So I double park in front of my house. And I'm sure that they hate me, but they obviously don't care that they're inconveniencing everyone else. So I don't even care if I'm inconveniencing their assholes. Like one time I was like backing up to purposely double park, and the wife drove up behind me, parked, immediately jumped out of her car, and went inside before I could finish backing up. I was so pissed. And she knew exactly what I was doing because she sped up and did that. I was like, you fucking bitch. So annoying. So I did obviously paint some of this off air. I was just messing around, just seeing what was vibing. This might be a short stream. I'm already freaking tired. I swear, the thing that they don't tell you about pregnancy is just how tired you always are, all of the time. And like, I get it. I'm growing a human. I probably should have anticipated that. But oh my gosh, it really is exhausting. Like, you do one thing and it's like you're exhausted. Like, why is it so tiring? I feel like I should be more understanding to it, but I'm not. I'm just like, well, can I just stop being sleepy? I just want to stop being sleepy. That's it. So because this is wood and not a canvas, I made it, unfortunately, I did this to myself. I sanded it and made it super smooth. So what I did was I sketched it out and then I put clear gesso over my sketch because you should always gesso any surface you're painting on. Because if you don't, especially since I'm using oils, the oil will seep in and it'll ruin it. And that's all this fun stuff will happen. So you got to do all this extra stuff. So I gessoed it twice after I sketched. It did like blunt down my sketch a little bit. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw some of the photos. But I'm not unhappy with the way it turned out. Now, this character is supposed to be like a fairy too, so I tried to give her like fairy-ish proportions. So like her nose is really small. I was kind of going, not Pixar, but like that. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a girl's face from like a cartoon. Like where they have big eyes and a little limit. Not Ariel, but I guess I'll just say Pixar for now. That's one everybody knows. It's easy. Now this is where painting hundreds, well over 100 eyes comes in handy because you have all of this practice and you kind of know how the anatomy of a face works. Now I wanted to go for like a yellow and like blue or violet color scheme because I think it's pretty. Now I am going to give her like bright blue eyeshadow. I want her eyes to stand out. And I think I'm going to change her eye color from blue to like a green maybe. Maybe I might reconsider that. But we will see. Did I see Deadpool and Wolverine? No, I did not. I can't sit through movies anymore because I have to pee so often. So I'm like, and honestly, guys, just for like me and my husband to go to the movies together, it's almost $200. So it's just not worth it, in my opinion. Like, to see a movie I can see on streaming in like a month, I'm just really not up for it. So I heard it's just like a bunch of cameos, and I'm like, I'm not the biggest Deadpool fan. I mean, I like Hugh Jackman. I know I saw the second Deadpool movie, but I don't remember it very well, like at all. I remember the one girl where she's like, "Oh yeah, my superpower is luck," and like she was trolling them, and then I remember like everybody dying in that one scene, and then she just lands and like nothing happens to her because of her luck. That domino, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I remember watching it. I know I've watched it, and I just didn't care. Like I'm like, the first one was funny. I remember liking it, but again, I don't know. I watched it once. I'm like, I don't really need to watch this again. Maybe it's because I'm not the biggest Ryan Reynolds fan. Like his movies, I'm like, oh yeah, I like it, and then I forget about it. So I'm just like, I know everybody else is excited. I was excited about the Henry Cavill stuff, but I saw it on Twitter already. I miss when movies would really entice me. Now I'm just like, It's one of those things now. I'm just like, I can wait. Like, back a while ago, I used to see a trailer for movies like, oh my God, I cannot wait to go see that. That's going to be so epic. Like, I remember when I was a kid and like we all really liked the Mummy movie, like the one with Brendan Fraser, and then the Mummy Returns is coming out. And my parents wouldn't take us. They're like, no, we're going on a date to go see that movie. I mean, my sisters were pissed. We're like, we want to see this movie. And they're like, no, you guys get to wait until it comes out on VHS. And we're like, what the fuck? We all want to see this movie. And my mom was like, you'll just make it a lot of noise because you don't like it when they kiss. And I'm like, okay, that one I'll give to you. I am a pain in the ass when I was a kid because I didn't like it when they kissed in movies. I was about to say, I better be freaking. I guess, sorry, I didn't have my light on. Hmm. But yeah, I'm going to try to paint her eyeshadow. I'm going to see if I like it. This is one of the cool things. If I don't like it, I just paint right over it later. I never really like paint makeup. So I always tell like people when they submit for the eye project, I'm like, no makeup. Because it really does distort your face. And girls get all insecure about it. I'm like, trust me, you look a million times better without makeup anyway. It's funny, I watch a lot of art YouTube, and so many of them, they're like, oh, I'm so scared about working in oils. And I just am like, what? Why? Like, I watch them paint with like gouache or acrylic, and I'm like, it's like hell. I'd hate doing that. I don't know why people get so scared of oils. I'm like, it's so much more convenient. It's easy. Like, what do you mean you don't want to paint with oils? Just like, people are weird. I feel like they get this stigma, like somebody tells them like, oh, oil painting is hard. And I'm like, it's really not. You just have a different, like a slightly different process. There's nothing hard about it. You just, I don't know, try to beat it into you that it's hard. I'm like, yeah, once you understand the tools and how to use them, it's not hard at all. But I don't know. Maybe people just say that for like dramatic effects on their videos, because I'm just like, like nothing you say here makes me think that this is hard. I don't know, it gives me the impression that you're lazy. There's this one artist, she doesn't really do YouTube, she's more on Instagram. And she was like saying, she was giving these like tips on oil painting, and she's more of like an acrylic painter. And I'm like, everything she says is wrong. So like, I really wanted to like comment, because she had one video where she was talking about like the myths of oils versus acrylic, and she got a lot of backlash for it, so she deleted it. And I almost want to comment on this new one and just be like, not to be rude, but that's not a good, what you're doing is not a good idea. But I didn't. I'm just like, I'm just going to keep my opinion to myself. If you ask me my opinion, I'll give it to you. But before that, I'm just not. Maybe I'm just like so over interacting with people. I'm done. I'm over it, guys. I'm over people. I'm over interacting with them. Like, this one guy did this post a few years ago, and he's like, oh, all the Disney princesses. And I'm like, well, you're missing these ones. He's like, well, they're not the like official ones. And I'm like, what do you mean not official ones? They have their own goddamn movies. Like, some of these girls that you have in there aren't even princesses. Like, Mulan technically is not a princess. I know she's considered a princess, but she's technically not a princess. And then you have like Kita from Atlantis. She's an actual princess. Like, she's the princess of Atlantis. That is a princess. And they don't have her. They don't have Alani from the Black Cauldron. I'm like, those are actual princesses. Like, legit princesses. And you don't include them because they're not officially Disney. Or they are officially Disney, but Disney doesn't want to acknowledge them for whatever reason. That shit annoys me. Not that anybody cares. But yeah, there's just like certain things that artists do online. I'm like, ugh. Part of this is just me learning how to paint on this new surface. I think what I might just do, I have so many like wood panels, I might just go get a shit ton of Gorilla Glue spray, that nice fancy hairspray that one lady used, and just start spraying on canvas onto here, so that way I can actually work. Somebody asked, this inspired by Georgia O'Keeffe? No. I explained a little bit earlier in the stream when I started. It's just this new trend on Instagram. It's not just for artists, it's like for models too, where it's like you do this like crazy makeup, and then you take pictures of like oh no, I almost threw up. Of like things distorting your face, like flowers or a mask or butterflies. And I'm like, oh, that'd be fun to paint. So yeah. So I'm giving it a try. Just something fun, new. I felt like I was really like not I don't know. I feel like I've just been stuck painting the same thing, so I've been completely uninspired. because it does, like, the eye project, I like doing it. It's helped me so much improve on, like, just my anatomy on, I guess, that specific portion of the human body. But not only that, like, when you do the same thing over and over again, yes, it's very helpful, but that's also supposed to be like a study. It's supposed to be practice. So I just haven't been, because I'm so focused on getting it done, I haven't been doing anything else creatively. And so I was like, let me do this. Let me try this new project or this new experiment. And then let me see, if it inspires me. And so, I don't know, I just felt like pretty uncreative. And so I wanted to do something that would make my creative juices flow and do something different. And I had these two panels sitting here. So here I am. Now, one habit that I have, maybe not the best habit, but it is a habit I have. I paint very thinly because when I was in college, oil paint is expensive and I needed to eat. And so I learned how to paint very thinly and to try to get the most out of the tube that I can, because a lot of the times it came down between eating or art supplies. And obviously, I had to choose the art supplies. So that's what happened. I learned a technique, which is why my oil paintings dry a little bit faster, because there's not as much on here. Whereas people that paint very thickly, those are the ones that take forever to dry. So the thicker that you paint, the longer it'll take to dry with oils. Am I watching Olympics? No. I'm super pissed. I was going to cancel I have that Hulu Live subscription. It's $81 a month. And I got it so I could watch Euro Cup. And I forgot to cancel it on Saturday. And so I just got charged for another month. So I even set myself a reminder too. I'm so angry at myself. But they already charged me. And if I go and change my plan now, they're not going to uncharge me. So it sucks. So I guess I'm going to have to start watching Olympics, get my $81 worth. I saw some of that opening ceremony. I just saw the clips on Twitter. To be honest, I've been so distracted. Because I've been remodeling my little studio office thing to make it more functional. And so, because I needed to get all my shelves up, because once the baby comes, I need to not have all of my stuff in a tiny human's arm reach away. So I had to move everything like up, and I moved a desk. I actually just grabbed one of my like camping folding tables, and that's something that I'm using, as well as like a makeshift desk for more not dirty projects, but I guess where I make more of a mess kind of projects, like when I put leaving on the eye paintings. And so I put that there. I thought I was going to get a return on my laser cutter, but I guess I just have to go pick that up and suck it up. I'm kind of feeling like I should just mix paint, but I'm bad. I didn't do it. Here it is. I was at Michael's yesterday because I need more turp, and I got this. It's like grayscale, but I gotta just put my paintbrushes on while I'm painting. So it's like I always have like the same 5 I keep going back to. It just makes my life easier. I thought it was all in like the 70% off section. So I was like, ooh, I like things that are on sale. So it was like less than $2. I was like, I like that. I like deals. Deals are nice. This paper's just a little dirty. Hard to move. Let's soak in a minute. Grab another one. This one's a little better. Here we go. Much better. Yeah, one thing about painting on wood, especially if you've done like a couple layers of gesso, it dries really, really quickly. Just kind of annoying in my case because I don't want it to be that dry. This is one of those things where it's like, this is when you would want to paint heavier and looser, but I'm not. I posted this thing on Twitter yesterday, so I got my new car insurance policy. Over $11,500 for the year. And I was like, absolutely fucking not. It's been going up and up, and what my insurance agent has been telling me is like, oh, so many people are like, because of everything that's going on, like with all the car break-ins and stuff, it's just car insurance companies are mass fleeing California, and they don't want to cover anyone in California because of all like the car break-ins and all the crime. And I'm like, I have a clean fucking record. I don't live in a dangerous city. What do you mean? Like, I'm not paying $11,000 fucking dollars for a year of insurance. And I posted a screenshot on Twitter. Or not a screenshot. I just like took a picture and like cropped it of my bill. And I'm like, I want to cancel this, and they won't get back to me about canceling it. And I have to cancel it before September 6th. And I'm just so mad because they won't get back to me about canceling it. I'm like, I don't want this fucking shit. Yeah, so with this pregnancy, the little minion, it just, now I can feel it like moving, and it's not like how you would think you feel. I was describing it to Peaches, and I'm like, you know when you put like a ton of pop rocks in your mouth and like they start popping, but I was like, imagine like that just being like one big pop, but like in your belly right above your bladder. So it's like, obviously, like when you have a stomach ache or like your stomach's making noise or anything, that's different, and that's like in a different part of you. This, I'm just like, it's so bizarre. It's such a weird feeling. And so the kid is like, oh, it's 3 a.m. Let's start moving around and having a dance party. And I'm like, Jesus. And so it makes me really tired, like around like between 6 and 8 p.m. So I've just been going to bed really early. And then all of a sudden, it's the middle of the night. I'm sound asleep, and all of a sudden, it's like dance party. And I'm like, oh my god, you got to be kidding me! And it goes, starts going crazy, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I can't sleep. I got to toss and turn, and I like to sleep. I'm a side sleeper, which you're supposed to be when you're pregnant. You're not supposed to sleep on your back, is what I have read. And so I sleep on my side, and it's like, oh, you like sleeping on your right side? Psyched, you can't sleep on that side or else I'm going to go crazy. I'm like, oh my god, I'm not even fat yet, and this is what you're doing to me already, child. I told Peaches, I'm like, damn, I thought I was going to get lucky and it's going to be just like you, but it looks like it's going to be a pain in the butt just like me. I feel like this is looking like sherbet. Like, not like rainbow sherbet, you know, when you get the, I don't know if you guys ever remember Swans. The guy would drive up in the Swans to your house. And they had the ice cream. Like, it's sherbet, but it's like orange and red. I used to love it. So good. just going in with bright colors because I'm going to be layering a lot. And so it'll get muted more as I paint. Get a body pillow. I have it. Am I going to paint a mural in the baby's room? No. No, I'm not. So we're going to add on to our house eventually. And so right now it's my stepdaughter's room / because we don't have her as often, but like it's her room, but it kind of doubles as our guest room. So like if Peaches' parents or my parents ever came to visit, like that's where they would stay. And so like this desk that I'm painting on now, if you go and look at like my old studio before I moved, this is my desk from college, like my little mini computer / art desk. And so that was in there, but I mean, she never used it. She wouldn't use it for the computer or anything. She would just set up her Legos. And then like now she's so addicted to YouTube and like watching YouTube shorts or people play Minecraft. She just lays in her bed and watches shorts on her phone or, you know. So I'm like, all right, I'll just move my desk back in here and then we'll put the crib where along that wall. So I told her, because we're going to eventually remodel. And so we're going to add on a master bedroom and bathroom and like a pantry and like redo the laundry room. And so when we do that, she'll get our room. And that'll be like her room / the guest room. And then her room will become the official baby room. But so right now, I think our kind of plan-ish for his room is like he's going to spend basically all of his time with me. From what I've heard about babies is they need a lot of attention from the mom. And I like really cute small things. If you haven't seen my dog, you probably don't know that. But I like really cute small things. And from what I hear, when I've seen from babies, they're really cute and they're really small. So I'll probably have him with me a lot. So all he really needs, and Peaches has already had, obviously, his daughter, so he knows how this goes. He's like, you don't need all that extra shit. He's like, you don't need a changing table. You don't need this, and that. He's like, you pretty much just change them wherever you are. And he knows me. He's like, you're not going to get up to go into another room to change a diaper. He's like, you'll probably just, like, wherever you are, just sit down and do it there. So, and he's like, you want everything portable. He's like, you don't want the big fancy stuff. He's like, you want something so you like, because we travel a lot. He's like, you want something so that way like the baby's comfortable everywhere. So he kind of knows what to get. So I'm just going off of him. But yeah, we have the crib set up already, and it's one of those mobile cribs, so it's not all super like fancy and whatnot. And he's like, we don't know how big the baby will get because I was really, really small. When I was in kindergarten, I was still wearing toddler clothes, like 2-year-old clothes. That's how little I was. And then Peaches was small too because Peaches was the smaller twin. Like he's a twin and he was a little one. I tell him, I was like, you're right, you're the cute one. I was like, that's why you're so cute because you're the little one. You're the little twin. And it's funny because like he's the same size as all of his brothers except for his twin. His twin just got like the gigantor gene. And so his twin is like taller than everyone in his family. It's so funny. I think like Peaches and his oldest brother are the same height. And then his middle brother, the second oldest, is like, I say like a millimeter shorter than them. And then the twin is just like towers over all of us. But it's funny because it could also take after my side. So my dad is really tall. My dad's 6 feet, which I guess to most guys, I guess that's not too tall. But my dad's tall. And then my cousins are all really tall. And both of my grandfathers are tall. And then my grandma was like 4'11". My aunt is like, she's just above the legal midget height. Like that, she's 4'8" 3/4", which if you're 4'8" and under, you're considered a dwarf legally. So she just missed the cutoff to being a dwarf. So I'm like, it can really go either way how tall our baby is or how big he is. But it's funny because Peaches' daughter is like, she's like one of the tallest kids in her class because her mom was really tall. Peaches, I was just like, that must have been like such a, I always tell him, like, how drunk were you that night? And I'm like, I would never pick you to, like, you know, impregnate, like, because his baby mama, she's from Peru, and so she's like literally a giant Amazonian woman. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. I was like, this is how you know he's handsome. I'm like, literally, even a lesbian wanted to spawn with you. Like, that's how a lesbian that hates men thought that you were so handsome that you were good enough to spawn with. I find it amusing. Yeah, so I wanted to get well, when I get my laser cutter back, I'm going to like laser cut out his name and put that up on the wall. And then so my stepdaughter doesn't feel left out, I'm going to laser cut out her name too. I'm not going to tell her that. It's going to be a surprise. That's one thing I'm really worried about. I really don't want her to get like jealous or discouraged, which I have a feeling that's what she's hearing when she goes back to her other home. So like, I know at first she was like asking Peaches, she's like, what about my room? And it's like, lots of kids share rooms. Like, I had to, this is always what pissed me off. I'm like, I had my own room and my sisters had their own room, but they always slept in my room. I'm like, no, go in your own fucking room. Don't sleep in my room. It would always annoy me. How do you guys like watching something like this compared to the eye painting? Is it a nice change, or do you guys like a more structured, step by step kind of thing? Has she always been an only child? Yep. She like was asking years ago. She's like, I want a sibling, and every single time I was like, ask your mom, because I didn't know I had like these kind of rules for myself, but because I come from a divorced like parents, I never wanted to bring a child into the world if I like did not have like my partner that I knew would be with me forever. And so like not necessarily like having to be married, but then once I got, I guess, even older, I was like, no, like I think it's like there's that extra, I guess, security in a way of like we don't just like if we just get in a fight and it's like, okay, it's over. It's like, no, there's like a whole legal process. So you really have to think about it. And I think it does make you see things differently, in my opinion, now that I am married. But yeah, I just never was like, no, I'm not. And not to say that I didn't know like I loved Peaches and all that, but I was like, I was too young. I wasn't ready to have a kid yet. Me and Peach has been dating since I was like really, really young. I was like a teenager. With him forever, it feels like. But so when she first started asking, like Pete and I had been together for a couple of years, so I guess I wasn't a teenager. I don't know. I gotta go back and do the math that I don't want to think about. Then I'm just like, oh, it was so long ago. Then I'm like, oh, she was a baby. Now she's all big. But I know she did. At first she was like, no, I don't want any siblings ever. And then I think her friends started having siblings. And then she all of a sudden wanted one. I just kept telling her, I was like, ask your mom. And she's like, my mom said she's not going to have any more kids. And I was like, oh. I was like, just one and done is enough. I guess under the circumstances that makes sense, but And then when we were at the ultrasound for this one, she was like, I didn't want to say like what I wanted, but I really wanted to be a sister. And I think it's because like one of her neighbor friends had a little brother that was like a little asshole. So she's got like this bad stigma about little brothers. And I'm like, you have no idea how much I wanted a little brother when I was growing up. Because I told her, I was like, do you know how awesome it is that you have a brother? Like, he's going to like everything that you like. He's going to want to play Fortnite and Pokemon with you. He's going to think that you're the coolest. Like, you can play sports with him and everything. And I'm like, and if it was a sister, she'd probably be like me and want to play like with Barbies and dolls. And I was like, and everything you don't like. And she's like, oh, yeah, that's true. But I don't know. I know that they'll get along. I'm trying to think of like ways to make it exciting for her. I guess we'll see as time goes on. I just remember always wanting a brother. Like I have a big brother. He's like almost 20 years older than me though. So I didn't really see him as much growing up. But every time my mom got pregnant, it was always a sister. And sisters steal all your shit. They're annoying as hell. It's constant fighting and drama. As you get older, the drama just gets worse. But yeah. I always wanted a boy though. Like when I was like little and like thinking about like what like you know when you play with baby dolls and everything, I always wanted a boy. Always, always, always. So I got my boy. I'm so excited. I was we watched Krampus for the first time last night. And like because Peach has never seen it, I had never seen it. And Peach was like, let's just watch it. And I was like, okay, cool. And so we're watching it. And there's like little gingerbread men. I was like, oh my God, we should just, because the baby's going to be born on Christmas. I'm hoping I can force myself to pop it out a little early. So he's not on Christmas, but that's when my due date is. Now, Peaches was born early because he was a twin. I was born late. I was born almost a month late. So we'll see if it takes after me or him. But well, he had to be born early because he was a twin. That's like a thing with twins, I guess. But I'm like, oh my God, if I have to carry a baby like an extra month, I'm going to be so mad. That's what I did to my mom, though. And I was like, nope. And then I was still small. I was my mom's smallest baby. And she's like, you were almost a month late. And you were tiny. And I was like, eh. I was a little itty bitty baby. I was 6 pounds and 4 ounces. Peaches was the opposite. He was 4 pounds and 6 ounces. And he had to share a womb with his brother. He's a little itty bitty twin. I keep telling Peaches though, because Peaches has like perfect eyelashes. And I'm just like, I really hope he gets your, because we keep talking like, oh, you think he's going to have my hair or your hair? Do you think he's going to have my nose or your nose? And I'm like, he better get your eyelashes. I think he'll probably look like Peaches though. I mean, this is going to be a weird thing to say, but me and Peaches kind of look similar because we're both Portuguese. So we have like similar features. That's like a terrible sentence to say that. But I know. I think we're like both just like with how hairy we both are because we got the like Portuguese werewolf genes. The most shocking thing will be if it's a bald baby. I'm like, are you sure this is mine? I came out looking like a werewolf. I had patches of hair on my ears and like you know how like guys have like a happy trail. I had like one on my back. So I'm like, I straight up looked like I was a werewolf. I'm like, I'm surprised I wasn't born with a tail. And my mom's like super blonde and like pale. I always tell her my mom looks like Elsa from Frozen, except with green eyes instead of blue. And my brother is just like my mom. And so my mom was expecting to have a little towhead baby,
like my brother and I came out looking like a werewolf. And she's like, what? Whose baby is this? I'm like, I look just like my dad. Like, you married like a brown Portuguese man, Mom. Like, what do you expect? Have a little blonde baby? No. No. And my sister Ellen came out super light and super like blonde. It's one of the things that they say in her birth video, which thank goodness my parents didn't like film like the actual us coming out of a human part. They just film like, oh, in the hospital kind. So it's more like in the hospital the babies come in videos. And my mom's just like, what? Like, she's so dark. She's not blonde. Like, my mom's all in shock because of the little werewolf creature that they try handing her. And she's like, she's like, that's mine. And then when my sister came out, she's like, oh, everybody's like, oh my gosh, she's like super light compared to Anna. It's funny. And my sister was like so much bigger than me too. So we're about, so I'm in October, her birthday's in June. And so most of the year I'm like 2 years and 3/4 older than her, but because of my birthday that comes up after, I'm like 3 years older than, I guess. So for a few months I'm 2 years and 3/4 older than her. Then the rest of the year I'm 3 years older than her. So it's one of them birthday things that make a difference on the age. But there's a picture of us, and I remember taking this picture too because I was so irritated because she had a stinky diaper. I was sitting on the floor in the kitchen, like on a blanket, and my mom was like baking something, and then Ellen was in her like baby thing. My mom took her out to put her on my lap to take a picture, and she was so fucking heavy and she smelled terrible. And I remember being so mad at my mom to make us like take this picture and putting this fat stinky baby on me. And I'm like, Mom, what the hell? And she's like, we're just taking a picture. I'm like, no. And me and Ellen are the same size in that picture. And I'm like 4 and she's 1. It's the weirdest thing ever. I was always really little. That's why when people are like, you're not as small as you say you are, like when they meet me in person, I'm like, I was small my whole life. I'm not used to like not being considered tiny. Like they almost didn't want to let me into school because they thought my parents were lying about my age because I was so small. And I'm like, no, she's just little. She's just little. So my plan for the day after, I'm not going to finish this painting today because I'm building up layers. So I'm probably going to be painting this over the course of a week. But so my plan is after I'm done with this stream for the day is to go and watch The Acolyte, another episode. Oh, yay. The baby will be a Ewok. I know, right? That would be so funny. I spawn a little hair. I even asked like Peaches' mom and dad. I was like, was he your hairiest kid? And they're like, yeah. Because like, so Peaches has like, you know, in that scene in Austin Powers when he takes off his shirt and like all that fur, like that's Peaches. He went on a cruise. So Peaches, one of his friends is getting married, and Peaches was in the wedding. So they went on for the bachelor party. They went on a cruise to Mexico, and he comes back. I was like, oh, how was it? And he's like, oh my god, the guy, like the groom, his name is Mike. He's like, oh my god, Mike got so drunk the first night and then he got seasick, and he's like, he spent the rest of the time like in his room just sick. And so I guess Peaches and the other groomsmen all had like fun. But I guess there was a competition on the cruise for like a hairy chest contest, and Peaches won. So he showed, and I didn't believe it at first, and he showed me the freaking trophy, and it says on it, hairiest chest. And I was like, no fucking way. There's got to be, like, videos or something. And I was like, well, at least now it's official. You won. Do I see the completed painting in mine? Yeah, I kind of know the way that I want it to go, and then at the end when I add details, I'll see, like, what I've done and where to add certain things. But I think pretty much everyone, when they go in and they're doing this kind of thing, they know where certain things are going to go and what it's going to look like. It's kind of like when you're doing a puzzle and you have a picture of what the completed puzzle is going to look like, but you just have all the pieces. So that's kind of what it is for me. I have all the pieces. I just have to put them all together. Do you guys think I should leave her eye blue or should I make her eye green? Wait, you are pregnant? When did that happen? I've been pregnant for a while and I'm actually over halfway through this pregnancy now. I'm over the halfway point. So it's been a while. I don't know where you've been, but yeah, I'm knocked up, man. And I've been knocked up. It's cool. My brother's super excited to have a nephew. So apparently Beyonce's a big fan of cash grab. Oh my god, I know. Fucking Cecil. It's like Beyonce is filming a music video at my friend's bar in my neighborhood. Look at Cecil cupcaking on fucking Beyonce. It's like, bro, I don't think you can compete with Jay-Z, man. I really don't. Such a dork. Okay, so I was watching Cecil's stream the other day. Actually, it was when I was gessoing this. And so Cecil was doing like an auction stream and Ethan was on and Ethan was just like, Anna was like giving me hell, like that I need to do a cover for you. And I'm like, I strategically planned that. So I put him and John on the spot on a live stream. You guys can go find it. I don't know when or where it was, but I know I did it live. I was like, oh, so what are you guys working on? And John was like, oh, nothing right now. I was like, oh, really? And I was like, so do a cover for Cecil. And I was like, Cecil's told me many, many times that he doesn't want to ask John or Ethan because he knows that they do it. And he doesn't want to like bother them because he knows how busy they are. And I'm like, no, fuck that. You've provided so many hours of entertainment for your friends. You've helped promote them throughout these years. Those lazy fatties can draw you a fucking picture, right? Like they both can draw you a picture. So I strategically got Ethan and John to admit that they weren't doing something at that moment and that they could do a cover for Cecil. John didn't want to. John tried backing out of it, and I caught John multiple. I'm like, oh, and I asked him before Ethan asked about the Hellopant cover and the other thing. And so I'm like, I asked you first for Cecil. People say that, well, Anna's a narcissist. Anna doesn't care about anyone but herself. I'm like, do you know how much I've helped Cecil? Do you have any idea how much I have helped Cecil over the years? How much I've helped my friends over the years? And yes, I call Cecil names all the time, but I'm trying to help that fat loser. When you guys didn't know about, like, yeah, he was living in an office and going to the gym to shower. Like, I knew that. John knew that. I think Ethan knew that. Like, we all knew Cecil's hell of a situation. And, you know, I was like, yeah, let's try to make Cecil as much money as he can so he can stick it to that bitch. And I mean, she was a nightmare. She would come in to streams and like use her real first and last name and just start like trying to dock Cecil. And I was like, bitch, Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? She's psycho. She would like stalk me on my Instagram. I had to block her on everything. Had to block her and like all of her other accounts, like on YouTube. She's crazy. And I'm like, you guys both know how like we all kind of had to deal with Cecil's crazy ex coming and bothering all of us. And it's like, you're the one that wanted the divorce. Like, why are you stalking your ex? He's literally just like on a live stream goofing off with his friends. But so yeah, I think we should make Cecil all the money that lady took from him. So that way, like it's depressing enough watching him auction off all the toys that he's been saving, that he bought earlier on in life, so he can enjoy now in his golden years, because he's an old man. It's so sad. He's like, oh, I kept this in a box for 20 years because I was going to display it in my house, and then my wife kicked me out, and now I'm paying for that house. And it's like, oh my God. It's so depressing. So yeah, help Cecil make his money. So that way, one, he can get back everything that he's had to sell to make up for that terrible divorce with that lady. And then also keep Cecil fat and drunk. Yeah. If Cecil can bag Beyonce, though, he might be set for life. I don't think that she's gonna, slip up on Jay-Z, but that would be funny. What if Cecil just becomes like, what if she thinks that he's gay and she wants to be a fag hag and have a gay best friend? And like she just tries to like adopt Cecil as her gay best friend, and Cecil just has to live the rest of his life pretending that he's gay so he can be Beyonce's best friend and like ride off of all of her money and success. Yeah, there we go. There is a new cash grab book right there. You know what I'm learning from this process is how much I hate painting makeup. It sucks. I hate it. I don't like it at all. It's not enjoyable. Cecil just made a Deadpool review. Oh. Dude, when I saw Cecil doing his auction stream, even I offered. I was like, do you want me to paint you something? I'm like, I can paint you Cecil I was like, people really like those Mario paintings. I was like, I could do it like that. Like, do you need me to do like a cover for you or a card? I just, I don't know. It's kind of heartbreaking to watch him auction off all the stuff that he's been collecting his entire life. God, my friend's such a loser. I have strange friends in my life. Dude, one thing I'll tell you. The second this baby is out of me, I'm going to Starbucks. I miss Starbucks so freaking much. Right now, if I had like my strawberry refresher, I'd be set. But no, I can't have caffeine because I'm pregnant. No caffeine, nothing good, nothing fun. I was telling Peaches because we were watching the Krampus movie last night, and how the Anne is like making peppermint schnapps, and I'm like, oh my god! I'm like, if he comes out of me early, I might be able to drink on Christmas. It's not like I'm a big drinker or anything. I'm just like, it would be so nice, like when we go out and stuff, like to just have like a gin and Sprite. That's my drink of choice. I'm a gin person. Hmm. Isn't John and his bosom buddy Shane doing a special stream tonight? Are they really? What is their stream? What day of the week is it today? Tuesday? What stream are John and Shane doing? Hmm. So our neighbors have been remodeling their house for last couple months, and I would just like to say that the quiet hours in our neighborhood, like you're not supposed to be making noise before 8 a.m. The work crew gets here at like 6:30, and they were cutting tile. They're almost done, as they're cutting the tile. But they've been remodeling the entire bottom floor of their house. And again, work crews here every day, even on weekends, at 6:30, making as much noise as possible. And today I'm just like, I don't know. I might choose war. So loud, it was so annoying, and I'm like, ugh. And they just took a break, and I'm like, oh, you couldn't have just gotten here, I don't know, at 8? You didn't have to get here at 6:30 and start cutting tile? You're taking a break right now? Oh, how funny. Right now at like 10:51. Yeah, the neighbors have apologized to us, but I'm like, and then yesterday was our trash day, and they like moved our trash so that way they could like double park like in the driveway in front of the neighbor's driveway and like half in front of like our house. And then Pete just went to go put away the trash cans, and he couldn't because on the side of the house that like it's weird. It's like our side of the house is like where their driveway is, and so Pete just went over there to like go put the trash cans away, and he said he couldn't even walk over there because they had all their like setup, and it was like on our side, and we don't want to be those asshole neighbors that are like, that's our side. But at the same time, it's like we can't even put our stuff away because, and like you shouldn't be touching our trash. Maybe it's like he was trying to say, oh, they were trying to be nice, and I was like, no, I think that they just wanted to move it so that way they could get their shit in. I don't think they were trying to be nice because they've never done it before. They've been here for months, and I think they just wanted that so they could move their trucks and move their equipment. I didn't want our trashes in the way because it kind of blocked them. It's annoying. I'm like, oh, they're almost done, and then when we remodel, we're not gonna have like, I'm like, she must have been spending a shit ton of money because it's been like 12 weeks of this. I feel like the entire time I've been pregnant, they've been remodeling their house. So, and that's like a full 4 to 6 person crew for, I don't know, pretty much the entire year. It feels like that must be expensive. Yes, Peach is like, how much do you think it's costing her? And he's like, probably like 40. She's put so much work in that house now, though. I'm really interested to see how it looks when it's good or when it's all done. Oh, Malin's member stream. Oh, he hasn't invited me to that stream. It's just one for him and Shane, his bestest friend. Oh, the entire movie for Deadpool Wolverine is on YouTube. I'm going to download it. There you go. Oh, damn it. No. Download link was not found. Hmm. No, what just happened? Oh no, did my camera go away? Oh, did I just get a virus? Can you guys see me? Oh no. Hmm. Can you guys see me? Here. Oh no. We see your easel, we see the art. Okay, well my screen's black. I don't know why. Here we go. All right, I got it. Somebody put the link to the entire movie of Deadpool versus Wolverine on YouTube. Here you. There you go. Cool. I got the movie. I guess I am going to have to watch it. Click that link and then I'm going to delete it. How long it's going to be there? Just if you want it, go grab it now. Mm. Ugh. My tummy hurts. I think I'm gonna run to the bathroom. So I don't have that feeling anymore that you have like when I have to pee. I don't have that feeling. So I just start getting a stomach ache now. And I think that's a sign that I have to use the restroom. So I'm gonna go run inside and go pee real fast. I will be right back. I'm just gonna mute my mic for a second.
Sorry about that. So it's Tuesday, which means it's street sweeping, and the guy usually comes at 11. So I ran inside, and as I was going inside, I could hear the street sweeping machine truck. And I was like, all right, cool. I'll go pee, and then I'll just wait. And so what I have to do is I have to wait. So, like, I double park in front of my house. I'm going to do a little demonstration. So let's pretend like, where is this? So this would be my street. So I wait, and then right as the street sweeping ticket person drives by, I back up and then I pull in front of my house. So that way nobody else can park in front of my house, and I double park. Because my neighbors will all park in front of my house instead of parking in their driveway or in front of their house, they park in front of my house, and then there's a stupid work vehicle in front of my house for days that just doesn't move. And it's really annoying, or it's their like gay anime car. And I mean a shitty beater car that's got gay anime stickers on it. And when I mean gay, I don't mean like, oh, that's so gay. I mean like actual, like, here's dudes making out that are drawn like anime characters gay in front of my house. And so I was sitting in my truck and I hear the guy. And last week he was parked at the end of the street waiting for the ticket person to come, because now that they know that there's work crews, what some of the work crew will do is they'll go park on like the street over or something. And so it's basically I'm waiting to get the parking spot, and now the street sweeping and the ticket street sweeping person are trying to ticket as many people as possible. And they know that there's extra people here that are just like plain moving cars. And it's really fucking annoying. And so now they're trying to get as many tickets as possible. So the guy is probably just sitting at the end of my street, because I did hear the truck. So if I get up randomly and have to run out, it's because I hear the street sweeping actually come and need to move my vehicle. It's annoying. This is how I spend my Tuesdays. Every Tuesday morning is like this. But I did go pee, so that was great. At least I got that done. But yeah, I was waiting, and I'm like, okay, I'm not waiting anymore. It's like so much adrenaline. Now I'm sleepy. Ooh, I think it's coming. I'll be right back. Oh my god, I feel like I just sit there forever. I can hear the freaking street sweeping, and I have the stream up on my phone. Oh, I'm so annoyed. Part of me, I'm like, should I just let them go this week? But then I lose this war I've been fighting. I don't know. I'm so irritated. Those that don't know what's going on, if you came here later, on Tuesdays at street sweeping, I am at war with my neighbors. My neighbors have a ridiculous amount of cars. And instead of not being a nuisance to the entire community and parking their own cars in their own driveway or in front of their own house, they park everywhere else. And because I'm right across the street from them, they park in front of my house first. And they have their ghetto ass cars. It's weird. They don't park their nice cars in front of my house. They park the ghetto ones in front of my house. And I don't like it. Neither does Peaches. And then me and him have to. I don't miss living in a big city. I don't live in a big city. I live in like a little suburban community. And it was literally all of our neighbors like hate this. It was one of the first things. Our next door neighbor, she came over and introduced herself when we first like were moving in, and she warned us. She's like, the neighbors across the street have a lot of cars, and she's like, if you ask them to move it, they will, but just a heads up, like they have a lot of cars. And I'm like, we're like max, it's a 3-bedroom house because it's a small house, and I'm like, how many people live in this fucking house? And so since we moved in, the main couple that has the house, they had 2 babies. So they have. Do I hear it? Okay, well, they had. What is going on here? Okay, well, anyway, they spawned, and now they have 2 babies. So, what the hell is going on? Sorry, my computer was like having a spaz attack. But so, anyways, Russell, no, I wish I had to do that. That would be a much easier thing. No, Russell, I'm serious. This has been something we've been dealing with every single Tuesday. But so, the neighbors, it's the main guy, his wife, their 2 toddlers. Then it's like the grandparents. We think that they converted the garage into a house, and that's where the grandparents live. And then there's the gay teenager, young adult guy, and then there's another guy that's in like his late 20s. And so we're like, all right, this main couple, their babies, gay guy, 20-year-old grandparents. So there's 8 people living in that house, and each of them has a car, if not multiple cars. And so, and they always park in front of our fucking house. And so right now, there's like at least 2 of them home on Tuesday just to move the cars around. And also on top of that, the guy owns a landscaping business, so they'll have their landscaping cars parked. And then one of them, the gay one, he got a job for like some kind of company, and it's like a plumbing company. And so he parks his plumbing truck in front of our house. And when he first like got the job for, because it's like you take the car home, and it's obviously like an every now and again thing because it'll just be parked in the neighborhood all week and never move. When he first got it, it was parked in front of our house for over a week and didn't move. And so Peaches like called the company, and he's like, hey, like this car's been parked in front of my house. I don't know what's going on. It's kind of suspicious. And they're like, oh no, somebody in that neighborhood is working for our company, and that's their work vehicle. And Peaches was like, I don't think that can park in a residence. And they're like, well, actually, because it's under this weight, it can technically park in a residence. And Peaches was like, don't you have like facilities for them to park at if they're your like contracted employees? And they're like, no, they got to take it home with them. It's so annoying. And so on top of those neighbors parking now, It's the construction crew for my neighbor that's remodeling. I don't mind the construction crew parking in front of my house. Those guys are actually working and they leave. It's the other neighbors that are literally, they're actually in the front yard right now with lawn chairs and they just wait for street sweeping to come so they can move the cars in front of my house. It's so fucking annoying. And this is how I spend every Tuesday. Multiple family dwelling. Yeah, I get that. It's just, it's really frustrating because it's like you're so inconsiderate of your neighbors. New Warriors is coming out. Anna, you guys as well. Didn't they promote that comic like how many fucking years ago? And it's just now coming out? That's ridiculous. Hmm. I think I hear the street tune, but I could be wrong. Hmm. Yeah. Last time my stepdaughter was here and she like was laughing because she was watching me at war. And I'm like, this is what I do every Tuesday. Hmm. Oh, is it coming? No, he's in there. He's in where? It's okay. At least you don't have internet, I guess. Dude, I really cannot believe that got approved. Ugh. So I'm looking at this and I'm not liking it, but I think it's just like the first couple layers. I'm not gonna record. I'm just gonna take little breaks here and there and just block things in. That's pretty much what I'm doing right now because I'm gonna have to do a lot of like painting over things. That's one of the things with oils is you paint in layers. Usually, the way that I paint, it's a technique called alla prima, which just means wet on wet, which just means you paint the whole thing in one session, which obviously this is not something I'm going to be doing with this. Ugh. Oh my god. Where did my paintbrush go? Did it fall? I don't see it. Well, that's an on. It's like the only red one I have on here too. Russell, thank you for the super chat. Whose eye is that? I thought you said no makeup. Oh, this is not the eye project, Russell. You weren't here. I was explaining how the eye project is supposed to be like, not warm ups, but it's supposed to be like a workout to help me get better. This is, and because like I've been doing that because I've been so focused on like getting that done, I haven't done anything else. And so this is me like just being creative. I saw it's like really trendy on Instagram now for like girls to either like it's artwork or it's like girls that do makeup and they like post like pictures of like themselves with like crazy intense eyeshadow with like flowers or butterflies or moons or something like kind of blocking the view like half their face. And so I was like, oh, that'd be fun to paint. And I had these panels that I've just been kind of sitting there. And I was like, I'll still do the eye project, obviously, but I want to be creative. And so this was like a mesh of like a couple of different ones that I liked. Because it's like, I don't want to just copy somebody else's. So it's like I got like different types of flowers and I'm doing a different color scheme, and I just wanted to be creative. So that's what this is. I think I am going to change your eye color, though. I don't really like it. But yeah, so I really like fairies and stuff, and I don't really do very much fantasy art anymore. I feel like everything I've done for a while is like either cutesy or like sci-fi-ish. So I have this one, and then I sketched out another one that's like more of a fairy, but you can't see her wings. It's like anytime I hear any kind of vehicle, I'm like, is that it? I think I'm gonna go for like hazel. Might be like a blue and a brown and a hazel house. Maybe even I might switch it up at the very end and just go for straight up gold. I wanted this one to like be kind of more of a yellow and blue color scheme. That's why her skin is yellow. I wanted it to just be like solid yellow, but obviously I'm not doing that. I'm adding in some like other tones to her skin. But I wanted it to be like very fantasy, whimsical kind of thing. Enough gay art talk. We need more growing a tiny human talk. I guess, what do you guys want me to talk about? Oh, I don't know why. It's like girls want to talk about like my stomach and like that kind of stuff, and guys want to know what I'm eating. I guess I can tell. So the past couple days, I haven't been craving food. Like I just want to drink juice. That's it. And I'm so fucking thirsty all the time. I must have drank at least 2 gallons of. We've been Peaches makes me like this pink lemonade that's like supposed to be healthy. It's got like electrolytes in it, and like I must have drank 2 gallons of that yesterday, and I was still thirsty. Like I've just been so thirsty the past 3 days. Like I'm not. And Peaches like, you need to eat something, and I'll eat, and it'll kind of make me like feel not like I'm. Was that it? It's not like morning sickness. It's just like, I don't know, when you eat too much and you feel kind of sick. And so, but I haven't been eating that much. Well, I'm eating a normal amount, but it's like, I just need something to drink at all times. I don't know why. Like, we went out to dinner, and well, so we had to go to Home Depot to get something. And then I was like, I want a milkshake. Like, I just really want a milkshake. So we stopped at this diner, and I was like, ugh. I was like, I don't want food. But then we were looking at the menu, and I'm going to try this diner out for a while because it's close to our house and it's open 24 hours. And Peaches is like, oh, it's so cute. Like, let's just eat here. And so, like, we both ordered food. Peaches really liked his. I finished my milkshake, and I'm like, oh, is that it? Sorry, I'm going to be paranoid about it the entire time. I'm like, I don't even want the food. I was like, I just want, like, something to drink. That's it. I'm just thirsty. Have you guys ever heard of that? Who would have thought you guys like hearing about tiny human? I like, I don't want people on the internet to know, like, any, like, real details about my kid. Like, I don't want them to know his real name or anything like that. So I need your guys' help trying to pick out a name. I've just been calling it, like, the alien or baby Peach. And Peaches is laughing because they're like, even, like, our parents, like, what are you going to name him? And I was like, Peaches. And they're like, you cannot name the baby Peaches. And I'm like, no, I'm going to call him Baby Peach because he's a baby Peach. And they're just like, oh my God, Anna. And I'm like, you baby Peach. Give me a baby Peach. My dad's nickname for me when I was a baby was the terrorist. And I told Peaches, I was like, because we were talking about it, I was like, what if it looks exactly like me, but it has your personality? And I was like, and then what if it looks exactly like you? Or, yeah. What if it looks exactly like you, but has my personality? He's like, which one would you prefer? And I was like, I mean, I'd want it to look like you, but honestly, like, I was such a pain in the fucking ass. I'd rather it have your personality. I'm just like, oh, it's gonna be like kind of exciting though to like show every like a human that's like never seen a movie before. Obviously, like he'll have seen movies from like when we're watching them when he's like a baby, but it'll be cool seeing all those firsts and stuff. Russell, I think you should. How about Tyrone if it's okay? Henry if it's white. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Russell. So my brother, he's like a jokester, and so one time, this one guy, I want to specify, I did not want to date him. One of my friends gave me shit because she said that the reason I was having like bad luck with relationships had nothing to do with the fact that I was like 18 and not dating the right guys, right? And this is the guy I dated right before Peaches. And so it had nothing to do with that, just not the right guys. I wasn't really serious. I was in college. That could have not been a factor. But she's like, you're too shallow. You only date guys because you're like into them physically. You should try dating a guy that you just have like everything in common with. And I was stupid and I'm easily influenced by my friends when it comes to guys I should date, which is probably why I was in a lot of relationships that I was in, or I gave guys a chance that I normally wouldn't. And I dated this guy that I, on paper, had everything in common with. Like, he was a nerd. We had like very similar like viewpoints on pretty much everything. But obviously, you don't want to date someone that's like, it's like I hear it, but then it might not be it. But okay, but here's the difference. Like, I can be an asshole about things. I don't think I'm an asshole. I think I just don't know how to sugarcoat things. He was a straight up dick. But he just wanted like a trophy girlfriend. Not that I thought that I was a trophy girlfriend, but that's the way that he saw me. Because I was like way out of his league. He was not good looking, in my opinion. Like, I was not into him at all. Like, I'm like, this is like the farthest from my type ever. But my friend was like giving me shit because she's like, you need to not date guys that like just for their looks, and you need to date them for like their personalities. And I'm like, I shouldn't have listened to her. But he was so fucking sensitive. Oh, I hear it. I'll be right back. Never mind. That's the construction neighbors with some kind of weird tool. But so anyways, dating this guy. And this is the guy that like he cried because we were watching some movie that was stupid, but so like the guy was British, but he had like a Prince Charles piercing, if you know what that is. But he was also, because he was British, he wasn't circumcised. And so I made a joke. I was making a joke about the piercing because like the guy was fat. And I I was saying like something about like Europeans, and it's like,
you know, I was making like a fat joke, but also it's like how the gross guys are that have like stuff like that. It was clearly about the piercing and not about like the not being circumcised. And then I got in the shower, and when I was getting out, he was like in the bathroom because it was like a, you know, 1-bedroom apartment. And like he was talking to me while I was in the shower. And when I got out, he was like, I could tell there was something bothering him. I was like, what's wrong? And he just starts breaking down crying. And I mean like crying. Oh, Prince Albert piercing. Okay, sorry, wrong thing. He starts crying because he's like, he thought I was talking about like how gross it was to not be circumcised. And he's like, you know, I'm not circumcised, right? And first I was in shock because he was crying. Second, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, what? And I'm just like, and like he's like hugging me and crying, and I'm just like standing there, and I'm like, is this guy retarded? Like I wanted to laugh because I'm like, he is circumcised, and he's crying because he thinks I'm making fun of guys that aren't circumcised, and he thinks that he's not circumcised, and I'm like, how fucking stupid! Like you're a boy. How stupid do you have to be to not know that you're circumcised? And I could not believe it. And like I can't believe that this is a guy I actually dated. But like I called him my friend Sam, and like I was like, I was like, we gotta hang out. Like I got like let's go do homework. I was like, I have to tell you something. And she's like, just tell me now. I'm like, no, I gotta tell you in person. And when I told her, like we just started laughing. Uh wait, be honest, is that the driest shower you ever had? Russell, it was bad. Thank you for the super chat. No, I'm just like, how, I still can't understand how a boy can't know that he's circumcised. Like, how are you as a boy, like a full grown man, because he's older than me? I'm like, how do you not know that you're circumcised? Like, how do you go through your entire life thinking you're not circumcised? Those things are very different. But so he thought he wasn't circumcised. He's all crying. And so back to your last super chat, Russell. So my brother will make jokes like anytime there's like a new boyfriend or anything. And so my brother like makes this joke like, oh, that my funny that you say Tyrone. My brother's like, oh, Tyrone was cooler. Like Tyrone would have done that or something like that. So he always just like fucks with like whatever guy I'm dating at the time. And he never really did it to Peaches. But so this last time when I went to go see him, it was my niece's like high school graduation party. Oh, your dog's barking. But so my brother was joking about like taking the picture because Peaches, I love him. He cannot take a photo. Like if you want the worst photo you ever taken, ask him to take the photo because he's awful at taking photos. I love him. He's absolutely perfect in every way. That's his one flaw. So he can't take photos to save his life. But so anyways, like I was saying something, even my mom was like, don't like stand there. She said, take it from like the higher angle. She's like, so I don't look fat. And then my brother was just like joking, you know, Tyrone. He's like, Tyrone always took the picture perfectly. And so that's like something my brother like will joke about. And it's obviously a fucking joke. Like my brother, he's like, you can tell my brother's joking. And so I remember my ex, like my brother made that joke about like Tyrone as well to him. And when we got in the car to leave, he's like, so who's Tyrone? Your brother seems to really like him. And I was just like, oh my God, you fucking idiot. Like, how? How can you be this dumb? It's like my brother's fucking joking. But so there's always like, it's always the joke with like the name Tyrone and my like brother that's like my brother's favorite of like my imaginary boyfriends, I guess. But when we were like, whatchamacallit, even my dad knows about this because obviously like my dad was dating my mom like when my brother was like a teenager,
like in middle school. And then they got married, and obviously they had like me and my sisters, and then like my parents only broke up like, I don't know, a decade ago, if not longer. But so my dad's known my brother basically since my brother was a kid. And so my dad knows about the Tyrone joke. And when we went to go see my dad, like I like, said like, oh yeah, Mark was teasing Peaches about Tyrone, and my dad just starts laughing. He's like, he's still doing that? It's like, yeah. And so my ex that was crying about it, he did not believe me that Tyrone is just a made up guy that my brother teases me about. And I was like, call any member of my family and they'll explain the joke to you. And so he's like, okay, fine, let's do that. And I was like, oh my God, like this is embarrassing. But I actually did. I handed him my phone. I was like, call any one of my family. I was like, here, like on the speed dial list was all my family members. And so he called like my one sister, like the one that like I don't get along with and I don't really speak to. And he asked her about it. He's like, who's Tyrone? And my sister just started laughing. She's like, oh, Anna's imaginary boyfriend. And he's like, oh, okay. And he's like, well, that was a close. He didn't want to believe her. And so we called my dad and he's like, hey, who's Tyrone? And he's like, my dad started laughing. He's like, oh, he's like Anna's imaginary boyfriend. What did Tyrone do next? And it's like, he did not believe me that my brother just like, it's so obvious that my brother was joking, but he didn't believe me. And so I think that's why, because that was the guy I dated right before Peaches, I think that's why my brother didn't joke about Tyrone with Peaches in the beginning because of that whole fiasco. And so when Peaches was laughing about it, because I don't see my brother that often. My brother's in his 40s, and so he's got like the teenagers and all that. My brother's always working, and my brother's always busy, so I don't get to see my brother that often. And here, cars. Is it coming? But anyways, it's just funny that you like pick out of all the names you picked Tyrone. But no, let me read this next super chat. So it's settled then, name the kid Tyrone. No, we're not gonna name it. That's my imaginary boyfriend. That's got its own name. That's got its own lore. We can't name the baby Tyrone. I was joking with my stepdaughter. I was just naming off all these names. And I was like, okay, let's name him Denzel. Or I was naming like other like typically black guy names. And my stepdaughter was like, what? But can you imagine like the not like, I still cannot believe. Like I told Peaches that story. Like usually like we don't really like, obviously you don't really want to talk about like an ex with someone, but like that's a story I'm like, I have to tell this story. Like, and Peaches had met like my ex because me and Peaches were friends. And so like he had met him and he couldn't believe I was dating that guy. He's like, that guy was such a loser. He was. I remember like, cause he like, I don't want to, because I don't want it to come off like, he wasn't nice at times. Like he fooled my mom. My mom thought he was really nice, but he did. And I don't think he was trying to have bad intentions when he did this. I think it was just out of concern for me. But so I had this like crazy stalker and I was like in the hospital and all that. And so my friends say he manipulated me into moving in with him. But I think he was genuine in his concern for my safety. And he was the first guy I ever lived with, which will learn my lesson there. But he, whatchamacallit, it's like I had the stalker. She put me in the hospital. She would call me every day from prison. It was not a good situation, and because of like the courts, they get to know everything about you. They get to know your address. They get to know your phone number. So she had like my old address. So he was just like, live with me and you'll be safe. So after a while of like fighting him on it, I did. But
yeah, it was hell. It was hell. And I told him, I'm like, I'm not happy. I want to move out, and I think we should both go our own ways. He still thought that meant, oh, I still want to date you. And it's like, no, me telling you I'm not happy, I don't think this is working, I want to move out is I want to move out. It is not working. People are weird. Yeah.
Russell, thank you for the super chat. Okay, fine. How about Jamal?
That's a good one, Russell. I could name my baby. I think that was one of the ones I was teaching my stepdaughter. I was like, yeah. It's like, your brother's name's going to be Jamal. I think like Tyrell was the other one. And she's like, what?
Okay, I think it's here. Good. I'll be right back. Nope. They have these different machines. It's throwing me off. Where the fuck is street sweeping? This is so frustrating. Ugh. Is your camera working? Can you guys not see me painting? Oh my god, you guys can't see anything. Hold on, let me leave and come back. All right. Can you guys see like my hand? Put a 1 in the chat if you guys can see my hand. One. Okay, at least one person said 1. Okay, that's all I needed. Okay. Russell, thank you for the super chat. Jamal, it is then Shaniqua after a transition. Oh my gosh. Could you imagine if I actually named my baby Jamal? That would be so funny. I found my paintbrush. I haven't been recording because I'm like, I'm gonna have to jump up and like
Run out to my car any second. So.
watch this. Get this set up as one stupid street student's gonna come. Damn it, I just had this fucking paintbrush. Where did I put it?
Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that story time about my past. I'm surprised you guys actually seem genuinely interested in the tiny human talk. Very shocking.
I was captivated by the story. Didn't realize I couldn't see you painting. What story? The one about my ex
And the name Jamal. Yeah, that's one thing about my family. Like, the sarcasm runs strong. So, like, when we were shopping for, like, my wedding dress, Peaches' mom asked me about, like, bridesmaids dresses, and I was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to get, like, the ugliest ones possible. And she was like, oh. And my sarcasm, I think people can understand, like, when I'm being sarcastic. But I guess she thought that I was being serious, and she said something to, like, Peaches about it, and how she was just like, maybe you should, like, try talking out of that. And he could tell, like, I was being sarcastic. And I, like, next time I saw her, I was like, hey, I was like, Peaches, like, told me you're kind of concerned. I was like, I was being, like, completely sarcastic. And she's like, oh my goodness. She's like, really? She's like, you said it was such a straight face. And I'm like, you've known me for years. Like, couldn't you tell I was being sarcastic? And she's like, not when you say it like that. Like, so matter of factly. I'm like, I know. I do that for the reaction because it's funny. And she's like, oh, well, like, it went over my head. So. Yeah. And you guys know about the lore of Jamal.
I wonder where Anna's life would have gone if she got to work for George Lucas and he didn't retire. I think about that too. George.
So I've been watching House of the Dragon, and I'm kind of irritated because I'll watch like little breakdown videos of like, oh, this is like this character, like, or this is why that one lamp was lit like this in that one scene. Like, some of them deep ass lore videos, but
Now, because of that, my entire like suggestions is all there's some fucking weirdos out there. Like, yeah, so hey, there's incest with the Targaryens. Doesn't mean I want to see that shit. Right? Like, doesn't make it right just because like this one family in Game of Thrones is famous for all the incest. But now my entire fucking feed is like, oh, Aemon actually loves his sister Helena that's married to their other brother. I'm like, I want to see all your weird, demented fanfic shit. I don't. I'm not interested in it. Leave me out of it. It's all over my feed now. It's very annoying. Russell, thank you for the super chat. Setting aside for a moment what was their canonical skin color, weren't the Targaryens supposed to be supernaturally good looking? What the fuck happened there? Yeah, I know. Like, Daemon is supposed to be super, like, attractive. Like, all of them are. Well, Rhaenyra's supposed to be fat at this point. Like,
Rhaenyra's fat from having so many babies. But you're right, like Dany, she was really pretty. Like Emilia Clarke, super, super pretty. And that was one of the things, like, oh, she's so beautiful. And so, yeah, all the Targaryens are supposed to be really good looking. I didn't like the guy that they got to play Rhaegar in those flashback scenes. I thought he was hideous. Same with Lyanna. I was like, she's not pretty either. But yeah, I know. I think Mahler said it. He was talking about, like, back when season 1 came out, how Matt Smith is a fantastic actor, but it's like he looks like if like Frankenstein was trying to be handsome, but still Frankenstein. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't unsee it now. So every time I see Matt Smith, I'm like, you're Frankenstein. Like, you know, when those like ugly rock stars have like a baby with a supermodel and the supermodel's genes are working in overtime to make the baby look cute. But yeah, they should be good looking. And no one in that's why when people were like saying like, oh, there's not enough boobs, like there's male nudity in this show, but there's no female nudity. Yeah, nobody's like good looking anymore. They're all kind of weird looking. I will say this, like what they don't have in as far as looks, they make up for in their acting ability. I think every one of them is a really good actor. Like the chick that plays Rhaenyra is really good. Obviously, Matt Smith is good. The guy playing Aemond is really good. They're kind of weird looking, but maybe they were really trying to show off the incest aspect of it. Like they're fucking weird, incesty people. Here's their genes. But yeah, I wouldn't say like anyone in this show is like good looking. Whereas in like the OG Game of Thrones, like pretty much everyone was good looking. I know people like the way Sansa looked. I always thought she was ugly. I thought Sansa was so ugly. I'm like, ugh. People are like pointing out now how like bad she looks ever since she got divorced from the Jonas brother. She's off living her best life, and I'm just like, oh, they're like, oh, look what happened to her. I'm like, she's always been ugly. Like, I don't know why people are like, oh, Sansa's so pretty. I'm like, no, she's ugly. I never saw it. I don't know what people saw in her. More ginger hate banana. No, it wasn't her fucking hair color. It was her face. And I mean, you can tell she's not a real ginger.
Hmm.
So I want all of these flowers to be like a really bright yellow. Like I want there just to be a lot of yellow. I might be biased, so steel is my favorite color.
Russell thinks, imagine you're having a sax dream and it starts with Henry Cavill in Missionary, but changes to either Matt Smith or Adam Driver. What's your
Oh God. Oh my God. I think that would be like puking Russell. I will say this for Matt Smith. He might be like strange looking, but it's in an endearing way. He's much better looking than Adam Driver. Adam Driver is fucking hideous. hear my neighbors getting into their cars, but I'm paranoid that it's just a psych.
They really turned them into a family of albino freaks instead of elves. Yeah, I know. They were really like, oh, you're all supposed to be like super good looking and hot. Hi. God, there's freaking. I don't know if it's like that's just a little fly thing or mosquito flying around. It's really annoying. Oh, wait. Don't want to have to get my little fly swatter thing. Well, I've been streaming for almost 3 hours. I have other stuff I have to do today, which sucks. I'll just be painting. I could take a break from that one. I'll do this one for a minute. Oh, he's just a lay in color. I think that's what I might do. Yeah, I'm just taking a very thin like layer of color. I added like green to it when I first laid it down, which was like acrylic. This is obviously oil now. So it looks like kind of red. It's pretty much the same skin tone I was using for the other one. But I just want like there to be like a base flesh tone. So that way when I do go and paint this later, it will look nice.
these butterflies I painted, I decided I want them to be lunar moths. Lunar moths, what are they called? I haven't decided what color I want her hair to be.
Resulting with the super jet. Aegon was kind of good looking for mid jet, but now he's only just slightly more attractive than his brothers. Oh God, I don't know. I don't think he's attractive. I didn't know either that he was what's his face? David Tennant's son. Right? You learn something new every day. Ooh, I hear it. I think it is. I'm gonna go check. I'll be right back. Oh my god! After all of that, those fucking assholes, they like they stole my spot basically. Okay, I am so mad. So I go get in my truck. I start backing up. Street sweeping goes by. One of them was already like following him, like in their stupid little gay cube car. They pulled up and like parked right in front of my house. Then another truck, as I was backing out of my driveway to park in front of my house, some other fucking truck pulls up, blocks me, and steals the other spot. Fucking assholes. I'm so mad. Can you please focus the camera on your painting? This is really blurry. Like, see, you can see my hand very clear. This is like, it's not going to be able to focus on her. And maybe I'm just doing the entire thing with this like bright red. Nah. I'm so mad. I almost like, I don't want to like dox my vehicle, which I would have to do to show you guys the video. When Peaches gets home, I'm going to fucking show him. I'm so mad. Assholes. I'm in a bad mood all day. Oh, shit. That was not supposed to happen. Oh, I'm so mad at these fuckers. It wasn't the neighbors, it was the construction workers that have been tiling, cutting tile. Can you guys hear that? Like that buzzing in the background? They've been doing that. They got here at 6:30 in the morning or 7:30. I don't remember. It was fucking early. Peaches would know. Park in front of you. Or, I don't know, park across the goddamn street like normal people. Don't go park in my house. That guy purposely did it so I couldn't get out, too. He blocked me in so he could steal my spot. I'm so fucking pissed. Fucking asshole. And there was no ticket person today. I almost wish there were. If I would have known there wasn't a ticket person, I would have just parked on the street last night. No, the buzzing noise is them cutting tile. And they do it right outside my bedroom window, which is fun.
Russell thinks, what's with all the only one-eyed symbolism? Oh, I told you, if you weren't here earlier, it's like a trend that's on Instagram right now for like artists and makeup artists. I don't know. I had these two panels and I was like, I'll try it, but I wanted to do like one where it's close up. So like the girls like do intense makeup and then they cover up their other eye, but it's not like just their other eye. Like they have like some kind of like floral thing around them or stars or moons. I'll show you a reference when I'm done recording it, Russell, just so you can like see, but it's part of the ones that draw it. I think maybe they just don't know how to draw symmetrically, but this one, it's I was like, oh, I really like the girl's makeup, so I'm gonna be drawing like her makeup. Well, both of them, I like the makeup. I just think they're trying something new. I don't know. Maybe it's like with the Amen eye patch thing. Maybe it's just a thing. With this, it's like I like the idea of maybe like them peeking through, kind of thing. Over on Twitch, you asked if you said congratulations on the baby. Do you have a name picked out? We talked about that hours ago. I'm not gonna ever tell my child's real name to the internet, so we need to come up with a nickname for him. But yeah, just because I'm on the internet doesn't mean my family or loved ones want to be. So no, I don't want my people knowing my family stuff. Russell, thank you for the subject. Okay, fine, but what's with the vagina in the hair? What are you talking about? I mean, her ear? She's a fairy, Russell. I have to find my reference image for this one. Somewhere. So irritated about fucking neighbors. You know, this one she has like really cool purple eyeshadow, and so I wanted to paint that. Just like not think about it, but I'm so irritated. I'm gonna pull that down. I'm pregnant. How dare you steal my parking spot thing? Wait, can't you guys fucking carpool to work, man? That one part was determined to beat me. Just wait. Tomorrow, not any parking for you assholes. Looks very 80s, which I love. Yeah, I really like fairies, and I like art with fairies. I remember like that movie Fairy Tale that came out when I was a kid, or before I was a kid. I watched it when I was a kid. I don't know. I remember like it was like the two little girls, and they take pictures, and people are like, "Oh, this is fake." But it's like with the fairies, and you finally see the fairies at the end of the movie. I watched a lot of fairy movies. I like fairies. Lots of girls like mermaids. I'm more of a fairy person. I always really like dark crystal too. There's like fairies in labyrinth. No, it did me. We expect fairies to be. This one girl I follow, she like her drawings are kind of weird. Like she just does like a basic face sketch and then like draws circles on it. And then watercolors it. I don't think it's like the best. I just follow her because it's like very soothing to watch the watercolors go on. She posted this one really cringy reel of her like crying. It's like, I can't paint. Like, what am I doing wrong? I can't paint a guy face, like a male face. And it just looks like a very masculine Asian woman. And I'm like, painting a guy or drawing a guy face is 1,000 times easier than drawing a woman's. 1,000 fucking times easier. Guys have so many angles on their faces, and I'm like, well, maybe don't pick based on the drawing, I'm like a very feminine Asian man. If you want to try to draw a man, if you're not good at drawing men's faces, I don't know, like just like the cringy fake crying. I was like, this is, who knows, maybe she was really crying. I'm like, drawing guys is so much easier than drawing girls. Guys have like much more distinctive features. It's so much easier. what I'm actually thinking of doing for this one though is how like I only have 2 butterflies, is like drilling holes in different parts and getting magnets and putting the magnets of like the 3-dimensional butterflies. Or like I keep saying butterfly. I want this to be a lunar moth. So like different sizes of those. Yep, Fern Gully was always like one of those movies. I liked it, but I hated the main character's hair. Krista. I always thought, I'm like, it's a fairy. She should have long, beautiful hair. And so she's got this like weird 80s fro. I hated it so much. I'm like, ugh. She's your main character and she's ugly. It bothered me. It always bothered me when like the main female character wasn't pretty. Unless they weren't supposed to be pretty. But even then I was like, yeah, you have to be pretty. If you're the main character, you have to be pretty. And she was not, according to my... Oh my gosh, I've been painting for over 3 hours. I'm going by so quickly. So far, oh my god, I wasn't recording that entire time. Oh, gosh dang it. Okay, whatever. So, out of these 2, which one do you guys like better? Painting number 1 or painting number 2? Like, obviously they're not completely painted, but the concept of it, which one do you guys like better? 1 or 2? Oh, wow. Thank you for all the gifted subs over on Twitch. I appreciate it. I see someone says 2. A couple people say 1. This one, when it's done, I'm going to add like more flowers along this side too. Okay, see 1 and 2. My hands will get fatigued. No, it's mostly my brain and my arm that gets fatigued. Yeah, I figured most people are going to like 2 because it's more of like a character versus this is like a close-up. This one, I want her to have like, I don't know, regular olivey skin with like almost white, purple hair, and then like the lunar moths, and I want her eyes to be like a really light green. Alright. And a couple people that have responded, I think people like 2 more. Yeah, I think it's because it's like more of like a character versus 1. It's just like a study that I'm doing. Well, I have been painting for over 3 hours. I need to watch that stupid Acolyte show and film my review for it. So, that being said, I'm going to take a little break for today. I might go live on my main channel earlier and give just talk about the Deadpool and Wolverine, and then maybe talk about the Acolyte a little bit, but that'll be later. I need to go watch both of them. But thanks everyone for hanging out with me for this morning paint stream. Morning, it's almost 1 p.m. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. I am going to go get other work done. But if you're over on YouTube, leave a like, and please, when this stream is done, leave a comment. I'd really appreciate it. Twitch, thank you, everyone. If you're not following me on Twitch, please go and do so. And I will see you guys all later. Please, everyone on YouTube, stick around, smash the like button, and leave a comment. I would really, really appreciate it. It helps me in the algorithm. But until next time, everyone, have a great rest of your day, morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world, and may the force be with you, because we are really, really going to need it. Bye.